Oh, hey, zippity bop bop, skippity bop bam, zippity bop boo. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Crack Palantir, and I will be your host and game master for this episode 120 of Brise's Tale. As always, my good buddy Max is here to play the Paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Hey everybody. Hope you're having a lovely night. We're just worked through some technical difficulties, so fingers crossed nothing goes wrong.
Man, no kidding. Man,
Uh,
no kidding. So guys, welcome back. We are having a very interesting time in Karandrin. It's a rarity that we get to explore a whole new world, but we are dipping a toe into a new world through a portal
yeah.
that was created by a race of beings that have come to Karandrin, seeking to view the visitation of their god to our world. And in facilitating that, they have numerous portals. They're very welcoming people, and they allowed Brise through one of the portals to their world, a world called Odisse. And he is exploring this city, and she is exploring a city in this world called Kiakon. It's a port, and last episode, Brise walked down to the harbor area and then went to a temple, and now finds herself standing in front of the council chambers. There are three major races that occupy this world, and a smattering of others that maybe we'll see from the other side of the portal. But that is so there's the A1, a tall 7 to 8 foot high being with this enormous gray bulbous head. Like I see bulbous, I guess it's not really bulb shaped, it's almost disc shaped, but it's just very soft and amorphous. And eyes can emerge out of it and sink back down into its softness. Um, there's also a small race that looks like the American anole, the little green lizard, not unlike, I guess, also the Geico lizard, but you can look up the American anole and the green anole and see what he looks like. And these little guys, very technically proficient. They travel in these hovering carriages that are pulled through the streets by a little hamster ball with another of the lizards powering it. They seem to be the dominant race here. This is seemingly their nation that Brise finds herself in. And then there's the Kexeth. And the Kexeth are about a 5 foot high, sort of powerfully built, sort of pinkishly Caucasian, sort of pig-skinned looking people, cycloptic, and they have two tusks that come out. And that's sort of where we are right now. The council chambers is very beautifully decorated. It has what we can only assume to be very prominent lizard people, that is the Chidari, as they're called, in enormous poses, enormous statues of them up on top of the council chamber. As we said, Brise just came from the temple a few blocks away. Have I missed anything, Max, or is that a decent recap?
Well, I rolled a 1, so I can't help you. That is about it. So, what the last thing Brise has been doing in this world is visiting just different points of interest. She's been interested in art and history, especially. So, she visited a temple of the god Komot, who is kind of another counterpart to Obri, and read some books there on the history of the nation and of the world of Odisse. And and then we moved on to finding the council chambers in the last episode right outside. So.
Yeah, so You find yourself standing looking at this building. The statuary is, Bruce being a huge fan of art. Um, the statuary is really well executed. Um, and people are coming and going. Particularly the three races that we mentioned. Um, um, this whole area of town seems to be very well to do. A lot of
So a lot of
larger
sculpture, frieze
right,
work.
right. So, what would you like to do, sir?
Yeah, well, so is there like a common entrance people seem to be using to this building?
Yeah, the street leads sort of makes it goes directly to the front steps,
Okay.
and then it does sort of what are they called? In the traffic circle, if you will, around it, and you can only assume it continues behind.
Well, put on my turn signal and get in the traffic circle.
That's it. That's it.
Now I'll ask if there's
Roundabout. That was
anybody
the
in
word.
proud
Sorry.
of anyone in uniform, right, wearing the robes of Obreve. Asked about if the council chambers are open. If there's any where I could find like any gallery or works of art contained within.
You stop one. It's an A1 that is one of Galkakek's people. Galkakek, for any new viewers, that was the first species of the A1, first member of the A1 that
Right.
Brise met. In our world, um, um, and Obreve is the god of these people, and Obreve is the one who was apparently visiting our world. If by our world we mean Karandrin, and why wouldn't you mean that? Your parents and family don't need to understand what we're talking about. Just refer to Karandrin as our world. But you stop a cleric of Obreve. They are A1. They're female. Um, they are hunched with age, if you had to guess. Um, they speak in that gurgling, talking through mud, kind of garbled way that they have. She has to take out a mouth staff, as we've come to call them,
Right.
which are these short, thick topped stabs with a little metal dome. You scratch the top and it opens, and there's literally a mouth there, and it translates apparently anything to anything, which suggests maybe the A1 do not have universal knowledge of the Manish language you speak, which is Thax.
Right.
So she tells you that the chambers are always open. She looks you up and down, clearly having never seen one of your kind before.
Right. We should clarify. I have my hood, pulled down, trying to be discreet.
Oh, that's right, because you had that
Tail
crowd
last
following
time,
you.
a bunch of curious onlookers.
Paparazzi, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He tells you the chambers are always open. She tells you that newcomers to the city, and indeed newcomers to Odisse, if they wish to buy property in the city, they must register with the council. She tells you she doesn't know this word gallery that you've used. In terms of art, if you're looking for a public display of art of some sort, she tells you that there are no kite shows in this month because the winds are too poor.
Oh, wow. Kite show. That sounds fun.
What would you like to do?
I ask, when would there be the next kite show? If I would try to make that date.
In about 20 days, she would think, when the winds shift.
Okay. I'm assuming that's Odie's days.
Yes, I would think so.
Man, I don't have an accurate way to measure time. I have no idea, even if I stayed and waited a day, how would I estimate how many hours? Oh my gosh. Well, we'll just have to.
Well, the thing, I think, well, roll for me. I'll give you a
actually
way.
have an idea. Well,
Okay.
what I could do is go back to, well, if it's dawn here, then I go back to the portal to Karandrin, see what time it is there, then come back when it's the next dawn, and then I'll know a rough scale, I guess.
The other way to keep
Very rough. But,
roll for me.
67.
Yeah, all right. At least to keep track of the passage of time simultaneously, you just always keep a lantern burning.
Oh,
And so if so every, so you know that it can burn 6 hours.
right.
And so, yeah, you'll eventually creep off, but it should help you for, probably a week at a time to stay roughly, give you a rough sense of the passage of time, if you wanted to do that. And you might, if you go to an inn or something and you're going to have to sleep, you could literally pay someone to wake you when the lantern burns down.
Yeah. Or just ask them to refill it.
Mm-hmm.
If I trust them enough with that simple task.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. I also asked them about their staff for translating language. Do you know how I could acquire one?
They're very expensive, she tells you. Is that a wise purchase for someone so young?
I would say it would help me immensely in my travel. I think it would be a good purchase.
They are sold at the temples, also at some very high-end merchants sell them. She calls them kell thorns, and you can't tell if that's a word in their language or if that is a thorn from something called a kell. But as you look at it, you realize, it looks like a giant thorn. Hence it getting fatter at one end. And increasingly, as she talks about, why it's so expensive, it becomes evident it is. Kell is a type of plant because she mentions kell groves.
Oh, okay.
And that harvest, maintaining the great bramble such that it gets thorns large enough. So she tells you it's probably, she got hers through her temple work. but it's going to be many hundreds of Helm.
Oh wow, many hundreds of hello. Um, I know I got some Helm. Okay, I have 100 Helm, which is funny. So, oh, that is expensive. Okay,
But remember too, this given, I mean,
I do have
surely
unique
these,
goods they might not have here. So,
well, and surely you're right, surely that barter
right.
will be always available to you in this, in this
I'll
place.
tell you a
So,
story about my world if you trade me.
yeah, there you go.
Um, okay, no, I thank them for that information, and yeah, I'll mosey on into the council chambers.
Quinn, are you still hearing an echo?
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of hearing it on my end, but I wasn't sure if it's
Hmm.
something.
I wonder if we
Could
hang
you
on.
mute really quick, and then I'll see if I still hear it. Make sure
So
it's good.
Quinn is still hearing some. So hang on, guys, while we play around with a little technical issue. So I'm gonna mute at any time. I mean, you could see if it's you or if it's me. Wait, I'm not muting. I've
Yeah,
muted
go ahead
you.
and mute.
I'm an idiot. I'm so dumb. Hang on.
All right. Oh yeah, okay, it's gone. So it's coming from your mic, Kevin. You know what? I mean, this is fine if you just want to leave it like that.
Well, I know, right? The silence is beautiful.
Yeah, maybe your
All right, I'm
sensitivities.
gonna switch to a different microphone that's admittedly lower quality. Oh,
Do you not turn down the sensitivity in Restream or in Streamlabs?
all right. Is that any better?
Echo still echo?
Is it
Yeah,
still
I think
echoing?
it's still there.
That's really weird. That's the internal mic. That's the higher quality. Echo cancellation is on. Hmm.
Echo cancel. Maybe turn it off and see what happens.
Okay. That's with it
A lot of
off.
times that stuff isn't the most high
Yeah, not the
quality.
most reliable.
It's all yeah.
Is that any better or not?
Um,
And you think you
testing.
can? Are you hear? Do you hear you reverb or do you hear
I
me
still
reverb?
hear me, but it actually sounds quieter. So
Okay, we'll leave it like that. Um,
hope that's not too distracting.
yeah, I'm gonna turn. I'll try. I'm gonna turn you down just so that it's not picking up issues like that. Is that any better? You think?
Echo, echo, echo. Oh, much
Is
better. Much better.
okay. So if for some
All right.
reason the mic is not canceling out its own sound. So, man, what else do we need to happen today? So
Obrief to visit. I don't know.
I know.
World to end.
Um,
There's still a chance that Obrief's visit could cause this world to.
that's right.
Well, how did they describe it? Like one they visited and the whole world became just molten lava. I think
Yeah,
that was a little scary.
it's a
Hope-
little worrying to think of this thing wandering the universe just on a whim, destroying worlds. I mean, it's like a more capricious Galactus, but from Marvel Comics, if anyone's a fan out there. But all right, sir, what would you like to do?
So yeah, we'll mosey on into the council, and yeah, I mean, I guess it sounds like it's open. We'll just kind of gander, look. I mean, how big is the building? Right? Does it seem like I'll be in here all day, or
It is large, yeah. It's
okay?
4 stories. Um, it's made with that yellow sandstone kind of material that they have.
Yeah.
That's sort of got a gloss to it. But it has four. It's a square building with a dome. Around the dome, of course, are these figures. Although, really, it's just to the seaside and then land facing inland.
Mm.
There are four figures on each side of the building at level of the dome, and all Chidari, all the lizard race. Um, the um, Chidari wear um, sort of these robes, but they have a sort of netting that fits tightly over them so that things
Yeah.
don't hang as they crawl up and down structures.
Right.
And these all are dressed that way, save one. Um, he or she seems to be a military figure. Um, um, and has with him what looks to be like a crossbow, and he's pointing forward. Um,
A tiny crossbow.
yeah, well, tiny, except of course he's a massive, like 12-foot high figure up on the
Right. That's
thing.
what's weird. Do you think they build their statues like about like dwarf height?
That's so large for them to conceive of.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Okay. Yeah. So we'll just kind of walk in and kind of explore the building a little bit. Um, see what interesting art they might have on display, or just kind of what areas, you know, more sculpture and things like that on the inside.
um, you
Oh, you
walk
know,
in.
I'm sorry. Can
Yeah.
we back up? There's one thing I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. No, we already got the answer. She said
Okay.
several hundred hellum. I want to know like a fair price of um, a Kelthorn. So if I go to buy one later, kind of estimate.
Right.
You got that?
And and we should say to any new viewers, the hellum is sort of an oblong gold coin,
Hmm.
ovoid gold coin that they use here. Um, by weight, it feels about 2 gold.
Hmm.
So maybe they would take your coinage. You know, um, so you walk in. Um, the floors are a large black tile with veins of gold running through them.
Hmm.
Um, and it's all very stone and very lofty feeling as you walk in. This anteroom is sort of, it wraps the interior of the building. And there's then doors all in the interior wall that you can see. The wall itself is an enormous piece of art
Okay.
that it's square. Um, it depicts numerous scenes, but um, in true Chidari fashion, there's a touch of mechanism to it. And as you watch other Chidari appreciate the art and so on, you're sort of blown away by this concept of animation. They
Oh.
essentially have, it's essentially, you'd call it sort of a mosaic in a sense, but it's a mosaic that has parts that move.
Whoa.
And so there are basically little handles, and you can, for instance, move a figure's arm up and down. There's a little knob that you simply move this jointed joint.
Interesting.
And so you can, for instance, go to this group of heralds, and there's a group of 3 Chidari heralds with trumpets, and you see a Chidari go up to it and move the lever, and all the trumpeters' heads and their trumpets go up with
Wow.
their, you know, um, there's a certain
Oh my God! It's a
genius.
construct attack.
Exactly, exactly.
Cool.
Um,
Okay.
and the pieces that move slide over background pieces, some which get obscured as this thing passes over it. But
Yeah.
these background pieces are pieces of the background, of sky, of cloud, of tree, and things like that. And so it's like they're moving in their world, and it's just mind-boggling to you, the level of genius here. Um, there are um, there are catwalks that go up to the higher levels just so you can operate the various mechanisms and
Hmm.
appreciate the art, all 12, 15 feet of the art on this floor.
Yeah.
Um, and so
It's
you,
interesting that they care so much about art too. This is quite an expensive, and intricate thing to create. Hmm.
but still, it is not unlike your or our world, Karandrin, where essentially you see expensive decoration and expensive buildings.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so um, it's really very interesting. There's um, the art, the right in front of you, most directly in front of you, is a there seems to be a meeting between some sort of Chidari royalty and Awan royalty.
Hmm.
Um, the Awan royalty wears scarlet and gold robes. Um, there is no crown. You would guess that the Awan leader in lead of their procession is female. They carry a scepter, um, and it is clearly made to. It's depicted as radiating and just covered in gems.
Hmm.
Um, there is a procession of gifts being carried by Chidari um, on one side and Awan on the other. Things that are on pillows being presented, or waiting to be presented. The Chidari, of course, are using these sort of floating platforms that they use. And there are Chidari guards standing on the platform. Um, on that platform, the first of the platforms is a large black egg. Um, it looks to be about probably 2 feet in diameter. It's large.
Hmm.
The Jadari are also presenting a long curved sword, which they've sort of hung from a platform and had the platform go high so it hangs down below.
Hmm.
The blade is engraved. Um, and there is writing on it and on its scabbard. Um,
Use my spectacles of sophistication to read that.
so yeah, so you take out your spectacles of sophistication. They allow for our audience, they allow you to read any language. Although we've had some weird failures with it here and there.
They also make me look pretty smart, so
They sure do.
they
Much
have like
like your
helps
own
with the rolls.
sophistic. That's right. Um, the scabbard, which is made scarlet, an identical scarlet to the Awan's ruler's robes.
Hmm.
Um, the scabbard says, through service, honor. the writing on the blade says, should the Chidari cross the owner of this blade, let all Chidari be slain.
Wow, that is a tall order.
Hey, Obi-Wan. Thanks for hanging out with us. We should call her Obi-Awan now. She'll be part of that.
Well, we've got. Well, no, never mind. I was thinking of someone else, but we should. That isn't right. Was it? What is it? Shatari betray the owner of this blade, or cross the owner of this blade?
I can't remember now. Either one. I think cross.
Cross. Hopefully, that's crosses in like betray, not crosses in like, man, you made me upset. All Chidari die.
That's right. That's what my friend Tahid would do with his miracle roll. Periodically, is try to kill all of one race.
Wow.
Every now
That
and then.
is not fucked up at all.
No. So, you have friends watching.
Oh,
Yay.
hello,
Thanks,
friends.
Obi-Wan.
Wait, you're watching Friends as well?
That's right. It is better than this. I'm kidding. It is not.
Thanks for hello, everybody.
That's right. The workmanship here, again, like as you come close to read it, is remarkable. You are getting some looks, being the only human being that most people have seen.
You're right.
Obi-Wan, goddess of all things Star Wars. That's right. So there's a ton more to see. You can go up this ramps and catwalks and basically view more and more. They're all made out of a very light metal scaffolding so as not to block the view from below looking up.
How high up does it go? Like 10, 20 feet?
Like 12, 15. It's about 2 stories high.
Shouldn't be too uncomfortable doing that.
No, I don't think so. So of course, they use these ramps to allow the Chidari to
Right.
roll up, and going higher up is a fleet. Oh man,
Oh
you're
my
allergic to art. Oh, it knocked your hat off.
Oh, that was a bad one.
That's fantastic. You sneeze
We're all
from the
good.
poor and give to the rich.
I rolled an 80 for that sneeze. So
Good job. Good job. That's a deadly sneeze right there. It's not COVID, but it's close.
D critical sneeze.
That's right. Well, here at least is something you sort of recognize, and that is a fleet of ships going up against what seemed to be a dragon.
Okay.
The dragon stands upon an island, sort of up on its hind legs. The dragon is black, which makes you wonder if that egg is from the dragon. And this massive array of ships, which seem to be Chidari and Awan on board. The ships, much like the ones you saw out at the harbor, some of them have little winglets at the side, which you assume is used to allow them to glide some brief distance, right? Like they were talking about.
Yeah.
But they seem very early versions of the glider wings that the present day ships have.
Okay.
very small. Um, they look fragile looking. There are Kinnabor, the giant seal-like creatures that these people use, pulling their ships. And if you thought they were armored before, they have been purely outfitted for war here.
Wow.
Um, they have more armor on them, and they are clearly depicted as really breaching and like just pulling very hard at these ships.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the moving pieces are the fins of the Kinnabor. There's lots of banners and things that you can get to move in the breeze.
Wow.
And here it's done by, as you move, you're not moving the banner. The mosaic of the banner is itself a series of joints showing it, it's depicted as being, undulating in the breeze,
Mm.
but it's jointed. And so what you do is you're moving a rod underneath, and it's causing
Oh yeah,
a wave to pass along the banner back and
that's so
forth.
cool.
Um, there are waves you can get to move. Um, it's it is a whole new concept of art.
Is the dragon similar to the one I saw depicted on one of the friezes outside? I think we said it was long necked with shorter legs, shorter, more powerful legs, kind of.
That certainly holds true. Here, the horns on this one are sweep very far back.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, you don't really have this comparison, but sort of, like some form of deer have those very far sweeping um, antlers that
Yeah,
it's almost more for protecting the neck than anything else.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, so there are your two images on this side.
Cool.
Um, there's a group of Chidari hovering not too far from you,
Hmm.
and they're clearly giving you curious glances and so on. There are children in the little floating carriage.
Aw.
Um,
Quick potion of face change. I look like a Chidari.
that's right.
My
That's
head will
right.
just be really tiny, but my whole body will be unchanged.
That's right.
I'll be like King Prawn.
That's right. Um, um, so they hover closer to you, and um, they say something to you in a language you don't understand. They're little series of whistles that they. No, they don't whistle. They chirp, don't they? So they do a sort of chirping sound. It's the
Yeah, yeah,
scorpion
they do the chirping.
people.
The whistling, I think, is
The scorpion people,
the
right?
scorpion. Yeah.
Yeah, I have them down here. What are they called? The phenol. Yeah. Um,
The
um,
phenomenal.
what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm getting some attention, so I mean, they aren't really doing anything yet, right? I'll just ignore. Breeze doesn't like too much attention, but also if they're not approaching me, then.
Well, they're speaking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, they're chirping away at you. One
Sure.
member is.
Away. I just saying facts. I don't understand. I'm sorry.
He turns back to what you have to assume is his family. He he turns back to you helplessly, and gives you a little bow, and then they just move away.
Okay. I should also now I'll point at the ear, for like
Right.
can't understand because they also have those gems that I can use
Um,
to translate. At
and
least one of them did. So.
um, I was going to have them shake their head, but they wouldn't shake their head. That's a cultural affectation.
Instead, they would do a little 360.
That's right. They show you their anus, and that's the best way to say no to someone. Um,
I'm going to try that
uh,
next time.
the meeting went great until I had to disagree. Um,
No
so,
one, no one likes a yes man, but people really don't like it. No, no.
you are way, way, way too negative.
Yeah, we'll look at the other sections of this piece. Were there two more? I think. Or?
Well, there's the other walls
Oh my
around
gosh.
the antechamber.
Okay.
So these are two enormous pieces that are, I mean, they're probably, they're probably 100, 150 feet across.
Wow.
And they're just in, they're enormous with tons of
Incredible.
detail.
Yeah. Write
Um,
that down. We can check out the other walls. See what is on them.
so you go around to the other side. If you had to guess, this is the Chidari building this city.
Okay.
You it's a scene from above a hill, or from a hill's vantage point looking down at the harbor. Um, there is there's roads being cut through the woods, um, and there's a handful of buildings, um, all sort of huddled near the shore. There's no sign of the council chambers. You can tell from this vantage that it would be much further upland, inland than they have cleared. Um, there seems to be um, a Chidari priest of some sort, hands lifted, perhaps blessing the enterprise. But the garb is not the garb of the followers of Obrieve.
Right.
Um, um, the repeated motif of a symbol that you see in these robes of this priest or priestess and other religious figures present are two golden arrows um, pointed 45 degrees at what would be like on a compass. It would be pointing to northeast. So two parallel, one leading the other slightly, pointing to the northeast. Um, there is also piles of material set on some sort of ceremonial pyre, and they're burning, but the smoke seems to be descending down the hill and reaching tendrils toward the forest that is not yet cut. So some sort of maybe giant, incense,
Yeah.
which you've not seen the followers of Obrieve use. Um, there are ships out at the harbor in this depiction, but the ships seem to be There's like 4 or 5 ships. There's only one. There's only one dock, and so you only have 2 ships docked on either side, and the
Mhm.
others are waiting their turn. Um, and people are unloading things and so on. Here, of course, at this distance, this perspective and distance of the painting, the Chidari are little more than, I mean, green specks,
Yeah.
Um,
I was actually going to ask, is it painting? I guess does it just seem like paint, the material, without obviously like
sometimes
touching it or messing with it?
it's a mix of paint and mosaic.
Oh, okay.
Often the moving pieces will be jointed mosaic,
Right.
so they'll have hinges and they'll have pivots and things like this. Um, hmm. Kexeth approaches you. Um, and speaks to you in a very deep voice. But you do not understand him.
Man, I need to buy one of these stabs soon. Again, I kind of just, point in my ear, nod, shrug, and say, I, I don't understand your language. I'm sorry.
He pulls out a Kelthorn
Good.
staff, scratches the little metal dome, which opens up, revealing that eerie looking little mouth. He works it sort of gently into the ground, and it grows and seizes
Hmm.
on the cracks between tiles, not really damaging them at all. He says to you now, in a Thax you can understand, um, do you hear now the language of your people?
I do.
I am Honolir. What is your name?
Earlier, I say I go by Brise. And say, because he's probably going to ask, I say I come from Karandrin, the world which Obreve is close to visiting, on the eve of visiting.
Oh, sure, if the priests get it right. Are all your kind so tall and thin?
No, I say some of us are taller and thinner. Some of us are shorter and more stocky. It's quite a variety.
Are you planning on staying long?
Um, I say no. I plan on leaving um, soon, so I can witness, Obreve, assuming she comes in the next day or two.
He makes this sort of weird coughing laugh. What if I
I'm not
offered
worried.
you?
Don't worry about it.
What if I offered you a life more interesting than that? A life that would give you great wealth, and you could travel with all of your expenses paid.
Can I roll to get a vibe from this guy?
Absolutely.
As difficult as that is from an alien. 14.
Yeah, it's you've got no real feeling on the guy.
Well, Brise is normally a little mistrusting, so she'll say, seems like a mighty generous offer for a stranger not from your world.
It is because of that reason I offer it. I am an entertainer. I travel city to city with my entertainers. We put on great shows of spectacle and daring. We show the unusual and the bizarre. You're the only one of your kind I have ever seen. People would flock to our tents to see you. You would need only walk about and wave, and you would bring them in droves, and with them droves of Helm. Max still has some reverb.
Yeah, it's coming from Kevin's mic, we know, but not sure how we can fix it too much unless you try to turn me down some more, moving the mic further away.
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe now. No.
We'll see.
I think that's worse.
Let us know how that is.
I think it's a little worse, actually.
Oh, that is so strange. How could it be worse? I mean,
where's the speaker on the laptop again? Is it?
The speakers are here and here.
Okay.
The mic is there, pointed. You know, you see it's pointed that way. Yeah, really weird.
Hopefully it's not too distracting. Obi-Wan might have to figure out maybe after stream during the break.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it doesn't happen every time makes me think it's really not on our end.
Okay. Well, anyway, so he's asking me to join his troop. How does Brise feel about that? I imagine she'd be a little freaked out being seen kind of as a novelty like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
maybe not offended, but just like, yeah, it's like I'll have to pass. I do my adventures of my own accord, not at someone else's whim.
What's he thinking?
They're shorter, right? Texas.
Yeah, they're about 5 foot. This guy is
Okay.
a little on the tall side, but big gut on him. $500 Helm if you join me today.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually, I know that's a lot of money. But you know what? Brise doesn't even care about money that much. So I would have to decline. I'm saying, sorry, please take your business elsewhere. I hope you find some novelties in the next city.
You are difficult. Your people must admire stubbornness. 800.
Man, he's not saying no for an answer. Guess I'll have to get a little intimidating, kind of step a little over him and said, I said, please leave me alone.
Oh, fiery. You make it more and more tempting. Holy shit.
Time, oh man.
3,000 Helm.
All right, Fine, Kevin. I turn around and reveal my anus.
Oh my God.
He's like, well, why didn't you just say so?
That is. No, he's like 10,000 Helm. Only fans, here we come.
I mean, he's not getting it. I guess I just walk away. I kind of, what would I do in this situation? Maybe, I mean, are there any guards? But I can't even hail them because I don't know their language.
Right.
Oh man, could cast some magic. That seems like a bad idea.
It's an excellent idea. You should just you just teleport away. Man, if he sees you again in the city though, and you've done that, oh my gosh, he's gonna be like, I will give all my treasures to have you. You will be the delight of all audiences.
Right, exactly. I mean, God, all he's doing is offering me money. All I got to do is just ignore him, right?
Sure, just turn
So
and walk away.
I will just walk away and admire the next piece of art.
Around the corner you go, you just walk past. He is on your heels.
Oh my God.
$3,000 now. No, he offered you what? He offered you. Was it 3,000? He offered you. That's right. I was keep thinking of the equivalent of this. So he offers you. He's still he's plucked up the mouth staff, and it made a little cry of pain when he did so.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, there's a proper way of doing it. He's like 3,000 now. 3,000 if you stay a year.
I mean, this guy is so that I could use him to get one of these kelp thorns. Do I say I'll stay with you a day, and in exchange for a kelp thorn and 3,000 Helen?
But you could miss a breathe in that time.
That's true. Okay. I can make an arrangement with him to come. I don't even know how many days to come back. This is so difficult.
Well, I mean, it's not as though you need this contact.
No, not really. It is just a lot of money, though. Everybody doesn't care about money, but that's a lot.
It is a lot of money.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of.
Well, we'll stay committed. I mean, just ignore him. Continue to, if we have to, we'll leave the building and try to, shake him.
Sure. What's your temper like?
Good question. Let me pull up my character sheet. No, my patience is very low, which would probably apply.
Yeah, that's.
I'm having pretty even-tempered.
Yeah, so you have an average temper, it looks like.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll?
Let's see how loud I yell at this guy. 62.
Okay, and so you're angry. I think any reasonable person would be angry and fed up. So you can just choose to act angry, or you can choose to resist and roll.
I will choose to act angry because I think this guy needs some public humiliation. Actually,
Okay.
I will raise my voice. Sure.
Roll
Everyone
for
around
me.
me can understand. Everyone around me can hear who can't understand what I'm saying. But
It'll get translated, presumably.
well, yeah,
loudly.
maybe some of them understand facts.
No, it'll get translated.
Oh, true, right? Because the mouth says it back. Okay. So I say. What do I say? I guess. I don't need any of your bribes or your attention. Now, please leave me alone, or else I'll have. Oh no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I'll have a gray mark on.
That's hilarious.
But that might be overstepping my social bounds a little.
All right, well, roll.
45.
All right. You say it in the measure that you want. Um, he he takes offense. Says you're throwing
Starts
away
to
an
rope.
opportunity.
Sorry, what?
And he says you're throwing away an opportunity. You're a fool. And then he turns on his heel and storms off.
All right.
And I think it's a good place for a break, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, we're going to refill our drinks and stretch our legs. We hope you take a chance to do both. And then just join us back here in just a moment, and we will continue exploring the world of Odisse with our lovely Brise. So, give us just a few minutes.
What?
What the heck? Welcome back, everybody. Let me get our buddy Max back here. Hello. All right.
Wait a sec. I think no. Okay, the echo's still there. I was gonna say I thought it was gone.
Is it about the same?
It's pretty faint, so hopefully.
Okay, good. Um,
It's just, you know what it is? It's just this world, Odise, it has an echo. It's just
that's hilarious.
very cavernous.
That's hilarious. It's that big of a world.
Hmm.
That's really funny. I like that. Like, it's such a big world. Like, it must be a big world. It's got an echo. There's a lot of stuff that I can't find. Um, you know, people don't go missing because of murders. They just get lost. It's such a big world.
Oh my god.
I like that.
Okay, well, this guy leaves, and honestly, I was gonna say, Brise is probably getting a little fed up with all this attention. I think I'm gonna go see if we can find some merchants, maybe purchase one of those kelp thorns, and then I think it's time to go back to Karandrin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's been quite a while. It's been more than a couple hours here, I believe.
Yeah.
So I do recall there were a lot of merchants near the portals, right? People kind of hawking goods and.
Yeah, and it did seem a higher end place. When you
Right.
walk out, you're a little disturbed by where the sun is in the sky. Like, you're like, how long have I been looking at art? And you realize, my feet kind of hurt too. Like, I must have been really absorbed in that.
Yeah.
Um, looking around here. Yeah, it doesn't. There seem to be a lot of people you could ask. There's a group of clergy talking at the foot of I say stairs, but there's probably very few stairs here because of the Chidari. It's probably all ramps. I just have got to, when I say that, I just have got to correct myself. So if you want directions to someplace, more quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name. I thought there was a name for that where all the portals are.
Oh yeah.
Notes. Portal opens, loaded wagon. No, I guess I'll approach the clergy and ask for directions back to the. What would it be called, right? Directions back to where the portals are. Portals for Karandrin.
You want to, right? You want to the portal that leads to a Brise, maybe.
Yeah, okay, that's a better way to put it. They just point at the temple. There you go. Like, no.
That's right.
How do I find God? Oh, it's right in there.
That's exactly. No, they believe in an afterlife, so they kill you.
Immediately, just stab.
I had a friend. I think I've told you the story before. I had a friend who was. She was Christian, which was fine, but she was one of these Christians who would say things like, "Oh, I wish I was in heaven right now," which I always sort of bothers me because it's as though you would throw away the life that your God gave you. It seems a weird thing.
He took a long time to create as well.
Yeah.
He created this world. It took a lot of time and effort.
Right, and I said, you know what? I kind of wish you were there too. Anyway, someone takes out.
Sorry, I'm not to linger on the topic. Yeah. Christians really are emos. They're just like, yeah, death is great. Death will bring us everything we have ever wanted.
That's right. There's a fascinating book. I can't remember the title of it, but it was talking about the Christian idea of martyrdom. Was the idea of persecution being romanticized was so early in Christian thought that you had like in the second and third centuries AD, you had um, groups of Christians going to Muslim governors and saying, "Please, please persecute us, please,"
Oh my gosh.
because they had so romanticized the persecution of various Christians of the faith.
Right.
Um, and of course that continues today with the myths about Christmas coming under attack and all this kind of stuff. When 70% of the population is Christian, it's just bizarre. But so the mouth staff begins translating.
Right on.
Um, um, it's a female who holds the staff and takes the lead in communicating. Um, she refers to you as child of Obrive. Um, and you ask where the portal is. Directions to the portal. You're welcome to come with them. It is their next stop.
Perfect.
And do you want to ask where nearby or en route you could buy a mouth staff?
Also looking through what I have to barter with, and I can trade. Let me give
Mm-hmm.
up here.
So they are happy to depart now. They tell you that there'll be the point down at the end of the street. So just before our turn, or just after our turn, is a shop that should have one or two. They are very hard to come by, and so you join them. They're talking about things that they've heard about the world that they're about to go to.
Okay.
Um, they say the trees are very much like ours. Um,
I say, hey, there's dragons too.
that's right. They have not put it. They haven't put it. They haven't put it together. Apparently, that you're from that world.
Okay. I'll keep it that way. I'm just going to pretend I don't realize that.
All right.
And
Welcome, Bush 1G.
I do ask them about the dragons depicted on some of the sculptures. I mean, I just use the word dragon, right? It's like, are those beasts called dragons? Where do they come from?
Well, it's going to be translated, right? So because you said dragon, it's going to sound like dragon to them.
I guess, yeah, right. I'll refer to more explicitly then. The beast depicted, in the council chambers.
Yeah, you give it a description and everything. These they call them dragon kings. And they ask, surely you've heard of dragon kings? They rule whole nations.
Oh. well, actually, that kind of makes sense. It's the way kind of Crowlem like rules over a lord as well. I
Right.
ask, those must be um, terrible nations to live in. Then,
They all kind of pause and they look at you and they're like, "You're clearly a stranger." No, they're they're very nice nations. It is only the Dragon King's desire for more land that makes them bad neighbors.
okay.
Only the Jadari nations, perhaps, are said to be better. Their skill at mechanism make life a lot easier for their inhabitants. Dragon Kings, of course, use their magics and their slaves, but the citizens live well and peacefully until the Dragon King decides to end that.
Right.
I mean, we know that there are none particularly near here. The nearest here, I suppose, would have to be Lafinifer. But even so, that's not more than a week's journey. How have you not heard of these things?
Well, I feel like it should be obvious. I'm just not from around these parts, I say.
From very far away indeed. You reach the shop. It is run by a Kexeth male. Short and fat.
It's the same one from before. Like you. Oh my
I
God.
dabble in lots of things. I'll tell you, it has
I'll have
to-
that staff. That'll be 6,000 Helen.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, what are you gonna say?
So they help you translate, and he takes one out, and he says, "It's very young, very choice." The clergy reach for it, and they stroke like little streaks of green that are still on the thorn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, looking at each other. I mean, there's a sense of approval among the group.
Okay.
The A1 female leans very close to your ear and puts her mouth staff very close to your ear and says to you, "It will be quite expensive, one that young." 1,200 Helm.
Oh my God. Well, if he's willing to barter, I pull out from my. Oh my God! Now, hopefully, I won't. I was gonna pull something out of my bag of holding, but now that's gonna like. I mean, I guess if they're amazed by it, then let them be, right? Oh no, actually, I remember it. Shadari had a bag of holding. Okay, interesting. I'll pull out. I have a shield of interference plus 20 magic. Yeah, I pull that out and say that this is extremely valuable where I come from. Praise it as you will.
he will lower the price to, with this, um,
1,900.
800 Helm.
Oh my god!
And remember, you have 100 Helm on you.
I do have 100 Helm.
And how much gold do you have on you?
A lot. I've got 442 pieces of gold, 17 pieces of mithril. So I'll pull out a gold piece and ask, how much Helm would this provide for? Would this equate to? Yes.
Everyone sort of leans over to look at these coins that they've never seen. The Kexeth takes one. He scratches it on his tusk and looks at it. Does it again. Half a Helm, he says.
Man, this is an expensive purchase. This might be out of my purchasing range. I get. Well, I mean, no, yeah, 'cause that would be 200 more Helm, and I have 100 myself. It'd still be like 500 left over. So,
What about your mithril?
I'll pull out a mithril and ask the same. How about this? Well, I mean, I guess. Well, that's what's weird, right? Like, does it seem right to tell him like this is worth 100 of those? So this should be 50 Helm, right? But I guess we're in their world, so we just have to let them kind of.
Well, I mean, it depends on your honesty, right? How do you want to present it? You can be open about it if you're honest. If you're fine with dishonesty, which I don't think you are, I think you're fairly.
Yeah, I prefer to be honest.
Yeah, so yeah, you would probably be upfront about it then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll pull out a mithril and say, all right, this is worth 100 of the gold, so this should be 50 Helm. Let's see if he's okay with that.
He looks at it, tastes it,
Dies.
scratches it against the tusk. Takes out an iron oblong coin and scratches it against the thing.
Okay.
And then scratches the mithril against the iron. Accepted. 50 Helm. Slaps it down.
Okay. Let me do some math.
Do you have
here.
enough?
Let's see. 17, that'd be 50. So that'd be 500. 10. I'm about to spend 10 mithril on this thing. But hey, it's going to be pretty cool. That'll be another 200. That's 700. So you said the price was lowered to 800, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the shield.
I give him the shield, 10 pieces of mithril. So that's 500. 200 pieces of gold. Sorry, 400 pieces of gold. So that's 200. And then 100 Helm.
There you go.
That is single-handedly the most expensive purchase I've made in Karandrin. That's crazy.
Now you are now capable of reading any language and speaking and understanding any language.
Mithril, 400 gold.
He takes a bag. It's sort of really a satchel, I guess. Has a strap, has a big flap, and he opens it. He goes down beneath the counter and he just shovels soil into it, takes out a pitcher, he pours some water into it, and he lays the thorn in there, and
Okay.
he closes it up. And he says, take good care of it.
I'll try. I ask him for some tips. It's like, how do you recommend I care for it? I mean, I know how. Just remind me of. Should it be moisture retaining soil? Water twice a day. Shade, have sun.
Oh, that's hilarious. It must be kept in the bag when not in use.
Okay.
As it gets older and loses its green, it can survive longer out of the bag.
Okay.
But you're a few years from that.
Wow, years. Okay.
Keep the soil moist. Keep the bag closed. In very cold climes, keep it close to your body.
Mm.
It's best if the thorn can take root before you use it. It will give it strength for the task of translating.
Mm.
But it can find purchase almost anywhere. Any nicks or cuts on it must be wrapped in cloth.
So weird. I love it. Okay.
There are other things in the shop. It seems to be sort of high-end general goods. There's bolts of fabric. There's there's inks and quills and paper. It's sort of there's dishware even. So it's sort of general household goods and upper end goods.
Yeah.
There are small figurines of Obreve carved of some very interesting black stone that has flecks of green in it. And beside it is what you can only assume to be, of course, Komat.
Right.
Which is, that boxy sort of form and then tentacles going down. Or fins, whatever they are. Made of the same material. If you're interested or want a memento of your time here, but as high end as this place is.
Yeah. I think the Kelthorn is a memento enough.
Yeah.
How big is that, by the way? Will that just kind of fit in my backpack? Or?
Well, I mean, it's I guess you could put it in there with the soil and everything. I mean, there's probably 2 pounds of soil. It's 4 pounds. Okay. It would probably take up a third of your backpack.
Wow.
You can probably strap it to the top.
Yeah, let's do that then.
But with it being a satchel, if you carry it by your side, you can have it out quickly to use.
Wait, is it already in a satchel?
Yeah, that's what he.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. The bag. I misunderstood. Right. Okay. Let's do that. Then I'll just strap it on. Yeah. Kelthorn in a satchel with soil.
So the the clergy gesture, sort of asking if you're ready to go,
Yeah.
and they walk for a while. They're sort of talking among themselves as they go. Um, they are talking about a prominent Chidari family, um, and they give it its sort of chirping name.
Mm.
And the name is the Flower House. Is what the name translates into, and that um, they got gray marked. That Chidari home got gray marked. For any new viewers, the gray mark is this magical, apparently, means of punishment that the clergy can impose on entire neighborhoods, buildings. We don't exactly know the limit of it, but you're not allowed to leave a gray marked area until the time of punishment is over, and it inflicts pain on you constantly. Um,
No bueno.
you reach the portal.
Okay.
Um, they simply get in procession behind um, a line of wagons.
I'll follow them as well.
And through it you go.
Back home. Feels like we've been in here for a couple sessions, but it's probably only been like half a day, really. Maybe a little longer.
Yeah, it's mid-afternoon.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, the stands that are being built here in the valley for waiting the arrival of Obreve, they are a lot more full. There are definitely some more tents, but whereas the population in the stands is clearly doubled, there might be 20 or 30% more tents and vendors out and that sort of thing. This means you would have missed lunch without knowing it. So maybe erase a meal as you're walking along. Just eat some whey bread. Um, what would you like to do? They do invite you to join them in the stands. This group.
Okay. Well, if I feel up for it, I know I've been walking and talking for quite a while, so.
Yeah, I think you're probably peopled out. I see that you're sort of an introvert.
Yeah. So I think we'll go back to that one little spot I had found earlier. Hopefully it's still unoccupied, and I think I had my tent set up there. So.
Did you set your tent up? I don't think you set your tent up. I think you just put a bedroll down.
Okay, I must have just put a bedroll and then gathered it up when I went in. So
yeah,
find that spot again and reclaim it.
It's now occupied.
Well, okay.
There's a spot within sight of it which you probably would want to take so that you could be within sight of your old spot. Right. So if the people show up with fabric for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
So yeah, you grab a spot. They've set up more stands. You can tell there's a group that's entirely new of stands higher up on the slope, but you don't feel too crowded. Given where we are, what do you think about ending early tonight, since we're sort of at a really good stopping place?
Yeah, we could do that if you want.
Yeah, I just think because I don't know what else. I mean, it seems like a
Yeah,
natural stop.
it would be resting, and then June 20th, I'm actually meeting with the Trididos. If you want to throw it out there in the morning,
Okay.
we could cover that if you want
Yeah.
next winter.
Okay. Very cool. It's going to be interesting to have them there if the
Well,
bereaved.
yeah, I'm thinking of maybe I'll find a wake up, go to a little secluded area, and
Well,
talk to them.
it's not like these people are not used to seeing unusual
I guess, yeah, yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah, well, let's call it there,
Okay.
and we will um, we will get back to it next Wednesday, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We always appreciate it. If you think we're doing a good job, then hey, hop to Donor Box and send us a little love. If you want to hear more from Max, he has his own YouTube channel where he discusses the role of music in video
New video
games.
just came out, by the way. So
Oh, a new video. You should have
go on
plugged
and
that
watch it.
earlier. Very good. New video out from Max.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their terrific character art for Brise, which we use almost every episode. If you want to see more of their work, please go to artstation.com / Tortolua. And I've written a novel called A Shore Too Far that you can find on Amazon. Max, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this another little relaxed episode. And yeah, 120. That's crazy.
It's crazy. 120 episodes out there. So, yeah, guys, thanks for everything. We will see you next week.